Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to show you the plants in my greenhouse. Not my IKEA greenhouses, but my actual greenhouse. So without further ado, let's get to it. Hi guys, welcome back to Jungle Flowers Canada. My name is Grania and thanks for joining me. So guys, today I'm going to do a tour of my greenhouse. So this is my actual greenhouse, not an IKEA greenhouse, even though we know I have a lot of IKEA greenhouses also. So this is a very, very warm environment and I do keep the humidity at about 60%. So let me start in this corner and show you some of my babies. So here we have my Pastazanum. I absolutely love this plant. I think it is so beautiful and that leaf is just spectacular. And you can see down there, there is another new leaf coming and she is very, very happy in this corner. Down here we have, which I thought was a Florida ghost, but actually we have since discovered that it is not. It is just the plain green Florida, plain green philodendron Florida. It's still very beautiful, but just not the ghost as we had hoped originally. And here I have a philodendron micans. I just love this, guys. Look at how well it's doing. So this is a homemade trellis that I made around Christmas time, actually in one of my videos, and you can see how happy this plant is. This plant was originally cuttings from my mother plant, and it is spectacular, as you can see there. Now down here we have some philodendron adansonii. And actually they have done really well since I put them into this pot, and my hope is to trail them up this trellis here. Now I did have an attempt to make a living wall, so you can see that I kind of gave up on that. So let's take a look here. This is my Hoya shepherdii, and you can see the color of her leaves is much lighter than normal, and that is really because of the brightness here in the greenhouse. And oh my goodness, a peduncle. I didn't see that. I don't have my glasses on, but I do believe that is a peduncle. So you can see I was actually away with family I left on Friday, today is Sunday, and I came back, and you can see it was so hot in here that some of my plants actually got, would you say burnt? I'm not sure, over heat stressed. So I have to take a look at that. Here, oops, I have my Tradescantia Nanook. And this here is a, This here is a Gollum Jade, but I think it's a Gollum Jade Sunrise. So when I bought this, it was so orange, it was so beautiful. So I've just moved it here recently, so I'm hoping that it will come back to the orange that it was when I bought it. Here is some variegated string of pearls, which I have had probably 3 years, and I had them actually in the wrong place. I really didn't have them in a good position, so I'm hoping now that they're here they will do better. Okay, let's get back down to here and see what we have. Here we have an Anthurium crystallinum, and she is actually getting a flower. Now I did try to pollinate a Frydek with a friend of mine, and it actually, when I came back from the weekend, I saw that it had failed. So I may just cut the flower off of this because it does take energy from the plant, and I really would like this to get bigger. So it has put out, it did I think put, one of these leaves was new, but you can see they're not very big. This leaf is an older leaf and is bigger than the others, so I'm hoping I will get some larger leaves. Here we have a Monstera Peru. These are just cuttings that I had that I put in this pot. And here we have some Sticks on Fire. It's a Euphorbia Sticks on Fire. So a good opportunity to update you on my Cebu Blue that I mounted onto a pole. So you can see that she's growing away, and she has actually finally attached to the board. Did I say pole? I meant to say board. So this is a cedar board. You can see it goes all the way up, and it has finally attached. So my hope is that these leaves will get bigger and hopefully someday even fenestrate. While we were up there, you can see I have a living moss there. I must actually steep her in water. So back down. Here I have a cactus, which I can't remember the name of. I actually bought this in Costco. And these are two other little cactus that I bought. And they have done tremendously. You can actually kind of see where the new growth has come on this one here. Here I have my booby cactus. And she's actually not as leaning, or am I imagining it? I think she's starting to lean more towards the light now. And here we have a Monstera dubia, which is finally starting to go up the wall. This is probably one of my favorite plants, guys. This is the Euphorbia amac variegated. I absolutely adore this plant. And when I bought this piece, it was to here, and this is all new growth since I put her into my greenhouse. Isn't she beautiful? So you can see there's 3 pieces to this, so my hope is it will get huge and I might be able to split it up and use them as structural design pieces in the house. This here is a variegated euphorbia. Spectacular. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And then this here is the variegated euphorbia. I don't know the exact name, but this is fairly common. I'm sure most of you have seen this before. And here is the Euphorbia Ghost. Gorgeous. So they love this corner here of my greenhouse because it's actually very, very bright, and it kind of gets the light for the longest part of the day. Now you can see there is a casualty here. Well, I don't think it's dead because but it actually, I transplanted it into here maybe about 2 weeks ago, and it was struggling before, and I put it into a prop box and it came back, and then I planted it in here. So I think maybe I did that too soon, or there are issues with it and it is just struggling. I may actually put it back into a prop box. But anyway, it's a Hoya Sunrise if you're not familiar, and it is not happy. Here we have a jade necklace. Love this plant, and look at how happy it is. Nice big chubby stems on that. It's certainly enjoying itself. Here we have a pitcher plant. So this needs water every day. I give it distilled water, and because I was away, I think I can't quite see how it's looking up there, but I think it might have been a little bit annoyed with me. But you can see I have some nice healthy pitchers there, and these are relatively new. So coming down here we have my succulents that were in my kitchen. This is absolutely gorgeous, the succulent. I can't think of the name of it. It's something like agave. I'll see if I can find it. And anyway, it gets very sun stressed. And this here, I love this. This is like super cute. Very happy. And this is a perfect one because it'll tell you when it's thirsty. It will get all wrinkly. This one here wasn't doing well, so I cut it back. And these are all cuttings. Here we have my Hoya Australis Lisa. I'm hoping she will do better out here in the greenhouse. And you can see how thirsty. So I only watered these before I left on Friday, and when I came back today they were thirsty again because it's like super hot in here. So I just watered it again. So this is my, look, it's all curled in, my dragon scale, my alocasia dragon scale. These are Hoya finlaysonii, 2 different varieties. This one here, if you watched my Hoya video, I've had for 3 years. And actually somebody wrote to me and said I had the node buried, and I get what they're saying. But the problem down here, let me show you, down here is there's very little stem. So I really didn't have any other opportunity other than to plant it the way it is. So that is possibly the reason why it hasn't given me any more leaves. Here we have a, what is this again? Oh my gosh, why do I do this all the time? Okay, we're gonna have to come back to that. Here is a very wonky Sansevieria that was plaited, or braided, and I unbraided it. I couldn't remember what these were called again. I do this all the time and I absolutely adore them. This is a Ripsalis. I actually just watered it, but the water just went straight through, so I do need to give it some more water, but isn't it so cute? Love them. Okay, where are we? Okay, so this is a cutting that I took from my Florida, my Philodendron Florida, and you can see there's a new leaf coming on it there. I took this from my daughter. And here we have my favorite Syngonium. So I got this Syngonium last year, and I have actually featured it in a few of my videos, and I told you guys that it was my favorite. Now this, I actually took a cutting, so that's why this leaf is looking a little bit battered, and now it is becoming really popular and super expensive. So my prediction was right, and I'm so glad I got it before they went up in price. So what happened? This piece here was sitting on top of here. None of this growth was in existence. So I took a cutting, I chopped it off there, and I rooted this. It was much healthier, but it has declined since I rooted it. And once I cut it, almost immediately, all this new growth came out. So this here is a new growth point, and this here is a new growth point. And you can see that there are lots of lovely leaves coming out. They're not as mature as this one, but they will get there. But I am just in love with this. I definitely think this is, in my opinion, the most beautiful Syngonium. So I'm very pleased with that. This is a golden rat tail cactus. I used to have a huge one. I will put a photo of it in, but it was stabbing me all the time, so I actually sold it to a lovely guy who I have just recently connected with again, and he tells me it's still alive and doing very well. Here is my Cebu Blue. Now you can see here again the heat, these wilted, so I do need to keep an eye on this, but there is my Cebu Blue. Here is my Hoya elliptica, but it's the large leaf. So if you watched my Hoya video, you'll see that I have the narrow leaf, and then this is the large leaf. And you can see there's new growth with new leaves coming out there. And I am actually quite enamored with this. I think this is really pretty. Here we have a ruby necklace. This ruby necklace has been through the ringer. My daughter had it. It was inside, outside. It was dying. It wasn't planted. And it has survived. This here, I cannot think of the name of this. This is incredible. Again, I'm going to put a picture up. I had this outside, and I don't know what I did to it, but I killed it. So these are just cuttings of it, and I'm hoping that it's going to come back. I also have cuttings out the front. Here is my peanut cactus, which you will, if you've watched my old videos, you'll know is probably my favorite cactus out there. I absolutely adore it. These are cotyledon, and I believe this one is as well. You can see I've taken cuttings of these, and I have actually put them outside in my pots, so I'm waiting for those to recover. And this here is a, what is this, a pickle plant. I've had this for a long time. You can see she's quite quirky. She has definitely taken on her own form. And here we have a Peperomia prostrata, and you can see there she is getting very long and a little bit heat stressed as well. Here we have the Philodendron mame. Finally, guys, finally it put out a leaf, an intact leaf. So look at the leaves it had been putting out prior to this. So hopefully now that it has put out one intact leaf, it's going to get itself together and give me a beautiful plant. Here we have my Alocasia Black Velvet. I have a baby from her. Yeah, this is the mother plant. So I have a baby from her, and the baby actually is putting out tons of new babies. And she did have 3 leaves, but one just wilted there recently. And here we have the Epipremnum pinnatum variegata. You can see there's some fenestrations starting here. Now, to be fair to this plant, I have cut it so many times. I think I have possibly 4 cuttings of it now. So I'm not going to cut this anymore. I think I may get a, actually you can see new growth coming down there too. I think I may get a board and put it up, take down my attempt at a living wall and put another board there and have it grow up that wall. This is, I hope I say this right, an Epicia, I believe, that my friend gave me. And you can see it kind of is a little worse for wear from the heat out here, but it's well watered now. It does like a lot of water. Here we have my Philodendron Brantianum. So I got this cutting from a friend, and it really wasn't very happy. It kind of grew all sorts of funny leaves. So I cut it up and I propagated it, and then I put one of the props back in, and you can see that it's finally starting to hold its shape. The leaves were coming out all wonky. So finally she is starting to behave. And here is my Scindapsus Trubii Moonlight. This is not liking me. Now I have a number of cuttings, and the ones in my dining room are doing much better, but these don't like me. I don't know, I just struggle with these. I don't know why I can't get this to flourish, but you can see like there's new growth coming, but I have to figure something out here. I don't know what's going on. Now these took a beating in the heat, guys. So here is the oh my gosh, here is the Calathea mosaica. You can see that she's taken a bit of a beating today. While I was away, it was so hot here. And here is the trio star. Stromanthe trio star. So these kind of took a little bit of a beating in the heat. Here we have the Begonia maculata. This was actually much bigger and it was kind of wonky, so I cut it, and now it's just starting to regrow. Here we have the Aglonema. Can't remember the name of this, just a regular one. Picked it up at Lowe's for like $16. It's just a nice little pop of colour in here. And here is the here's the Bogenia, I was going to say. Here is the Begonia Sophia. And I do actually need to cut her. You will see down here she's very leggy, so I will make a cutting of her and possibly get some new growth from the lower stalks. Here we have, which I was hoping would be my Sport Monstera deliciosa. This was a variegated leaf. There was some variegation on this leaf. This one I think might have been thrip damage before it opened, but unfortunately I haven't got any more variegated leaves. Or is that the little piece of variegation there? Is that the eensy weensiest bit of variegation? I'm not sure. Sometimes you can see the variegation on the back. I'm not sure if that would even qualify as a bit of variegation, but anyway, that's its newest leaf. Can't talk today, guys. Here we have a Burl Marx philodendron, and I just repotted her actually. You can see there's a yellow leaf, and she's putting out lots of nice new growth, and the colours are just stunning. I think they're getting bleached in the sun out here, which just makes the leaves even prettier. Cute, lovely colours on that. Here we have my Birkin. This is the one that gave me the variegated leaf, which I love. I was hoping I'd get more of them, and I just moved her. She was on the ground. I moved her up here in hope to get the leaves bigger. So you can see there's lots of lovely white leaves coming out, but I would like them to be a bit bigger. Well, I've actually opened the door there, so my humidity has gone down to, this meter here is terrible. It never gives me the right reading, but so we've gone down to 37. My humidifier actually, well, the goal is to keep the humidity at around 60%. And you can see now it's 28 degrees, but when I came in here it was over 30 degrees. I'll just show you actually the setup I have here. So I have a window there, and I have this amazing fan. So this fan, actually I have it blowing in while I was away, but it actually also extracts, and that's probably why they got heat stressed. So I usually have it extracting the heat because it gets so hot in here, but just because I was away I thought, you know what, no, I'll have it blowing inwards, and I think that's why, you know, as I say, the plants got stressed. Here I have a black pagoda, and this was doing brilliantly, and look, you can see she's very heat stressed. Actually, she looks a little burnt there. I don't know. That's very, maybe the sun is just getting stronger now because we're getting further into the summer and it's getting a little burnt, so hopefully it will acclimate again and get stronger. It was fine actually. I had no burnt leaves on it at all before I left. Just shows you cannot leave these babies. They're like children, hey? And here, I have no idea what this looks like. This is a string of hearts that died on me, but I didn't get rid of it. I just left it and watered it, and you can see it's coming back. Here I have my Christmas cactus, and here is a Disso cactus. So these are just cuttings from a huge one I had last year, but it really got waterlogged out in the back garden, and I just wasn't happy with it, so I cut it up and just started off with new cuttings. Where was I? Okay, so here is my Calistophylla, which was perfectly fine on Friday. Perfectly fine on Friday, and you can see there are 2 singed leaves there. So I am going to move this, I think. I just don't know what happened. I really don't know what is going on here. Like 2 days away and I had this much damage. I have to check this out, guys. Okay, so here we have the string of needles, which I think are just so cute, and they're actually getting quite popular now. See, string of needles. I see in the United States there, you know, a lot of YouTubers are getting these as gifts from plant stores. But you can see, this is my messy corner, guys, so I'm reluctant to show you, but you can see how long my string of needles is. It's pretty cool, eh? That's all my messy stuff. That's actually a shade cloth that I am contemplating putting up. So let me see, did I get everything? I think I did. Oh, did you see my swing? Let's move back here so you can see my swing. So I come in here and sit in here either in the morning or in the evenings. You can't sit in here during the day because it's just simply too hot. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you've watched till the end, please don't forget to put the green heart emoji in the comments. And if you have any questions or comments, please don't forget to ask below. And thank you so much for joining me. You have a wonderful day.